Remember, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is where the real power is. Hi, welcome to the Story So Far. This is episode number 3. And as I mentioned on my previous episode, today we're going to talk about education. We're not talking about the education that you get in school, university, TAFE, college, etc. We're going to talk about the education that really matters. We're going to talk about the education that you need to have once you think you had enough education. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. I would like to start this episode with a statement. And a statement that a lot of the times gets me in trouble, but I do believe it to be true. Knowledge is not power. I repeat, knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is where the real power is. I'm sure you get where I'm going to. There's a lot of people out there that know a lot of stuff, but never gets applied. They never go anywhere. For example, university professor, teacher in school, and so on. They have a lot of knowledge. I'm not saying they're bad people. All I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there that read a lot, know a lot about many things. However, they never applied anything. And therefore, they never get to where they want to go, okay? Or retire with funds they want to retire with, or live a more comfortable life, or a life with less fear of being retrenched, made redundant, and so on, okay? Now, there's 3 areas that I think you need to be working on constantly so you can overcome the main 5 things in life that holds us back. Okay? Those are fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance. I'll come back to this in a second. Now, when it comes to the first thing that I think we need to be constantly working on is self-development. This will be, for example, reading the books, going to the seminars, listen to the podcasts from guys like, your Tony Robbins, your Jim Rohns, Napoleon Hills, or your favorite ones. And if right now, for example, you hear the name Tony Robbins, and you go, oh, now he's a clown, that's your cynicism kicking in. And if you go back to my second episode, you'll see that's also your lizard brain telling you not to go out of your comfort zone, to stay within the pack, to be safe. You understand what I'm saying? Of course you are.
This one I had to struggle with, personal development. It was hard for me to give up my old blame list. It was so comfortable blaming the government and blaming my negative relatives and the company policy, unions, wage scale, economy, interest rate.
So self-development. One of the things we need to work on. The second one is on your money and investing fundamentals. If you're not sure what this means, this could be things like, well, if you don't have any money, why you don't have any money? Perhaps you don't have a saving plan, you don't have the philosophies and concepts that you need to be able to stretch your income a little bit more so you can put a little bit on the side, 10% on the side every month, and eventually you will have money to invest. So here, for example, you can have your Robert Kiyosaki, your Rich Dad Poor Dad. As you know, I'm a big fan of Robert Kiyosaki. My intro, I'm sharing a photo with him there in my early days. You have your John Burleys, your Norm Whitakers. So look, this is something that you may want to find depending on where you are, which country you are, which region you are. You may choose. I'm just giving you some names. And by the way, I will include on my show notes some of the recommended books, some of the books that I've done a lot of good for me, some of the books that I've been very inspired with, some of the books that I learned a lot, under these three categories, down there on your show notes. Feel free to share them with your friends, family, sit down with them, break these concepts down, and make sure that you go through this content a few times, because repetition is how we learn. The third area that we need to be concerned with is continue to learn concepts and strategies and knowledge on the asset class that you decide to invest. So in chapter 1, in my episode 1, we already worked out that we all are investors and we need to invest, okay? In negative interest rates, that sort of stuff, okay? We have no choice. So once we realize that we have no choice, I think the better off and the quicker we're gonna be on our way, in our journey, okay? So for example, in my case, I started Steve McKnight from 0 to 600 properties in 2.5 years. I started Jan Somers, old school property investor here in Australia. I learned a lot from her and her husband and a lot of the strategies they apply. Margaret Lomas, etc., etc. I'm sure you get the drill. So there's a lot of information that you will need to that is relevant to your local market, if you like, in the local and in the related asset class. For me, it was real estate. There's many ways to skin the cat. So what I recommend is that if you decide to be the share trader, share investor, go pick up the books. Go to the seminars. Talk to the people that are doing it successfully. For me, as I said, it was real estate, and this is what I'm sharing because I've been doing this for 20 years, and hopefully I can leave a legacy behind for my children, friends, family, and I continue to reinforce the concepts myself, because sometimes you do need to refresh those concepts and keep them strong in your mind. Okay, going back to the self-development. Why I think self-development is important?
He said, if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune.
You will need, I'm going to use a glass analogy. And if your glass is very small, as in your mind, there's not a lot you can put in there. However, the more you expand your mind, as in you have a bigger glass, right? An open mind, you will be able to get more things in there, more good things, okay? And therefore overcome some of these things, right? Because if I don't have the self-development, the trust that I can do it, I'm going to always have fear, right? If I don't understand some of the fundamentals, I'm always going to be very cynical about things, right? If I don't build a strong mindset, laziness is going to kick in. It's going to say, oh, well, I worked today 12 hours, I'm too tired to read the book. This seminar on Saturday, but look, Saturdays I only drink cocktails, I don't do that on Saturdays, that sort of stuff.
Joe said, here's the secret, Mr. Rohn. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Once I got that, it turned my life around. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Okay. Also, your bad habits, your bad money habits. So the more you read about money and investing fundamentals, you will understand what I mean by this. And the last thing that's very important to overcome is arrogance. Okay? If right now you're thinking, oh, I don't need to do any of that, I'm sweet, my 401k or my superannuation plan will take care of that, I don't need to invest, I'm okay the way I am. Go back to my episode 1 again, see why you have no choice. See with the current reserve banks all over the world dropping rates down to 0 in negative territory. So your money in the bank is going to go backwards, so there's no other choice. Remember, knowledge is no power. Applied knowledge is where the real power is. Until next time, and thank you for listening. Please read the show notes. Hit the like button, subscribe, share with friends and family, and I encourage you to go back and watch the other episodes as well. and continue to stay strong in your journey. Thank you.